Hi everyone and welcome to Veterans in Crisis podcast. Today we have Andrew Marshall, and Andrew is ex-Navy, but he's got a bit of a story he wants to tell us today about what he's planning to do in the near future. You all right, Andrew?
I'm good, thanks, yeah, cheers.
Do you like Andrew or do you want Andy?
Andy's better, yeah.
Nobody wants to be fucking thingy the same as Prince Andrew, do they?
Exactly, I was as far away from him as possible.
Exactly, swerve it, mate, swerve it. Right, thank you very much for coming on.
Yeah, cheers.
Your story got brought to my attention through something we've done similar, which is the surfing at Sea Company.
Yeah.
Matt. We set it off. We started doing it with him so he could get a little bit of experience really and take a bit of data and things. And then in a WhatsApp group, one of our staff is still in that group, so she came across your story. So thank you, like I say, thank you for coming on. Really appreciate it. So
yeah, no, my pleasure.
So Andy, ex-Navy. So
I am, yeah.
Are you from Shields, are you?
Yeah, South Shields originally, yeah. And so, I'm back living in South Shields as well now.
Is that one of the reasons you joined the Navy, because you were close to the sea, do you think?
Yeah, very much, yeah. Had a history of uncles going in either the merchant or the royal. And if I'm honest, I joined the the Navy to get a day off school to go to the careers office, strangely enough, in Sunderland, opposite
the park.
That's right. Yeah. So it was to get a day off school to go up there.
Then it ruined your life. One day off school ruined your life.
Exactly. Before I knew it, I was going through the gates of HMS Raleigh.
Class. So, obviously, because of your family and that, did you just want to follow in your family's footsteps, or was it like you just wanted the Navy?
I think really at the time it was a mixture of Top Gun had not long came out, so I quite fancied a bit of that.
So obviously what is that in about 87?
I think it was 87. I joined 88. Yeah, not as a not as a fighter pilot, I may add, but I got as near as I could. I was an aircraft engineer, so a WAFU. People who are in the Navy will know WAFUs. So that's like the fleet air on basically.
So you used to fix the airplanes, eh?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, mine was on. I was on Sea Kings, so I was on one early warning squadron, which was 849. That was my frontline squadron, and a couple of second line squadrons and stuff as well. So I was based mainly down. I did training, obviously, where you join up in Plymouth, then moved across to Leon Solent, the HMS Daedalus, did my trade training over there, and then got drafted down to Culdrose, which is in Cornwall. Bottom of Cornwall, so I was down there, and that's when I did all my basically drafts down there, and I was on the Invincible, and the Argus for a short time as well. So that was basically.
How long were you in?
Career. I was in just under 8 years.
Did you enjoy it?
I did. Yeah, I loved it. Yeah, really enjoyed it. I mean, there's probably a reason that I did come out, and I mean, a lot of people probably resonate with this. I'd met somebody, and then I was due to get frontline again, so I came out. Didn't regret coming out for a long time. I think the longer I was out, the more I missed it. I think really there was a period where I just kind of distanced myself from the Navy when I left.
That's a very common thing that people, me included, when you leave. Because I was in the army, I didn't want anything to do with the military, nothing at all. And probably, I don't know, other than my friends, like my course friends, probably 10 years or something like that before I started missing the camaraderie and stuff like that.
Yeah, something probably similar, to be honest, similar length of time. So I mean, I did. Well, you had to do 3 years reserve. Not that I did anything with it, to be honest. I went with my kit once, and that was it. So, but other than that, nothing. So, like I say, I just kind of distanced myself away from it, which is a shame now. But I mean, it's great because now I'm back kind of in the like the forces community and that, and it's fantastic, you know. So
isn't it just,
yeah,
you know, I've been
it
around
really is.
like-minded people, it is, and it does loads for your mental health. You know, you would think being around a load of lunatics it wouldn't, but it actually does.
No, bro. I think it's safety among numbers, and being a lunatic, it's nice to be amongst lunatics, isn't it?
It is.
So,
well, what I'll find is, like, then you don't feel a lunatic because there's that many nutters around you. You know what I mean? Everyone's exactly the same. So
yeah, definitely. So, but I got like re-engaged with it when I wasn't well, to be honest, like with my mental health. You know, I got kind of re-engaged with like the forces community, and it was like getting an arm put around us again. You know, and I felt like safe basically where I was, you know. So, and I had it for a long time.
Anybody other than somebody who's been in the forces, and I'll say even the RAF, right? I mean, we don't class them as the forces, but you know, anybody, if you've been in the forces, I think would feel exactly the same.
Yeah,
I've never came across someone who hasn't felt that coming back into the fold and meeting people again, complete strangers. You know, I mean, I once took loads of lads and we had adventure training, and there wasn't enough room, so I drove my car with some. And then I had a minibus of, I think it was about 10. And then when we got there, the driver says, I can't believe you got all them out of the same unit who served together. And I was like, they've only just met. They've only just got in the van together. And we drove to the lake. So in 2.5 hours, you know, as if they were best mates.
Aye. Oh, it's funny how you feel like a connection with people straight away. And I think as well, people do tend to look after you and look out for you as well, which I found as well, you know. So
that's definitely a thing, right?
Yeah, definitely. So yeah.
So you said you had some mental health problems. Are you all right talking about that?
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah. Yeah. Well, probably the easiest kind of way to start is when I left the forces. I came out and I did engineering for a short period of time, but then I became it was an insurance man at the time with Royal London, and then kind of went to a couple of insurance companies, and then I set up on my own. So I was a financial advisor. And it probably started, albeit like crisis didn't come till after it kind of started probably around 2008, when kind of like a recession like hit. So that hit like my business quite badly. And because most of my business was mortgages, and that kind of almost ended all overnight. So I've seen a massive decline in like my business, but obviously not a corresponding decline in my outgoings. So the kind of stress kind of started at that point. And it was manageable stress, you know, so, but it started to kind of snowball on the financial side of things kind of from that point. And I think from that kind of things started to get put into the mix. My dad got diagnosed with Alzheimer's. So he started to become quite challenging for me, my mother to look after. So, and I was self-employed, and I was working. My office was in South Shields, which is like where they were. So I was kind of called on quite a bit because he would like do a runner and things like that. Basically, he would get out and disappear and stuff. So I'd go looking for him, or he'd be agitated and stuff. So it all started to add to the problem. And if I'm honest, I mean, probably the best drinking school in the world is the Royal Navy. So I've always probably drunk too much, but like manageably too much, you know. So, but I started to drink more and more, really. And then by 2013, my marriage broke down. And I think really that was kind of like the tipping point. My wife moved out and took me daughter with her. And if I'm perfectly honest, I was quite happy about that at the time, because it was almost like a bit of a relief to just get a bit of time by myself, if you like. But that unfortunately led to us kind of hitting the drink more without any of these responsibilities like around us and stuff, you know. And my mental health just started to kind of take a tumble as well. I also had a stroke like towards the autumn, like August 2013. So I had some health problems with that, and like I say, it just started really to kind of snowball from that point, and the plates started to drop off as like my engagement into work dropped, because I was, like I say, self-employed, so I was giving myself the day off quite a lot, and drinking more. My mental health was getting worse. If I'm honest, I didn't really kind of put that down as me mental health getting worse. I didn't really think of it as a mental health thing at all, really. At that point, I was kind of just having time to myself and going out, but it was becoming a bit of a problem because I was doing less and less at work, so I was getting less and less income in, and the bills were building up and the debts were building up and stuff. Then I lost like the house, so I had to move into like a flat. So I moved into that, and again that just was kind of a catalyst, and I was just losing interest kind of in life in general, if you like, at that point. And it just kind of descended really from that, you know, to kind of had a couple of really, like, it was around like kind of like my daughter and stuff, where like access and stuff wasn't regular, and it felt really like I was kind of just didn't really know what I was doing anymore. I was kind of just lost, basically, because my business by this point was really just kind of just scraping along, and I was just not really doing anything. I wasn't seeing my daughter or anything, and it was just getting worse and worse and worse. And I had a couple of times where I'd had family come round, and I was really, really bad. And then it got to the point where I just kind of, I just thought, I don't really think this is very good for anybody, you know. And I genuinely thought people would have been better off if I wasn't here. So I took myself off to up to Marsden, where I grew up, and I was there to take my own life. So I was stood on the edge, and it was at that point that my mate, who I grew up with, but is actually ex-forces, himself had rang us, and literally took us back, like kind of over the barrier, if you like, and then things, at that point I thought, right, things will start and get better now. But he, unbeknown to me, then rang my family, also rang like for some help, like the authorities for some help for us, who kind of turned up. And then it got slightly worse, because then I had been drinking, so I was going to rightly get kind of charged with drink driving, but then that was not taken any further, thankfully. And I would love to say from that point I started to make my way up, but if I'm truthful, I didn't. But I did. One big thing I did was I had already started to like speak with people at what I called NECA at the time in South Shields, and they put us in touch with this company who look like for alcohol problems, basically alcohol addiction, which I didn't really think that I kind of had at the point, but obviously since then I've found out was obviously a massive issue for us. But I think from that point I started to engage with them, whereas before I'd pretty much been going along and just paying lip service, if I'm honest, you know. Any exercises or things that they asked us to do, I just kind of made up on the morning before I went. How much have you had to drink? Have you done your drinks diary for this week? I did it on the bus on the way down, basically.
Like your homework?
Yeah. But from that point, I thought, right, I'm going to promise myself I'm going to be honest with them, because there's no point as just lying. So from that point, I did get a new support worker. She's called Ellen, and she's actually she's Scottish, but she's actually is from Sunderland. She lives in Hendon, and I don't know what it was about her, but she just gave us. She could be ex-forces, I'll be honest. She just gave us that kind of feeling that I had to give her some kind of respect. I was a little bit scared of her. It was almost like in my obviously branch of the services, it would be somebody like a chief or a sergeant major in the army, the equivalent of, I would assume. So she gave us that kind of worry. So I started to not lie to her in case she caught us out. Kind of worked in my favour, and she was quite straight. She was very straight to the point. She didn't like take any bullshit or anything like that. A couple of times that I did try and lie to her, she kind of sussed us out straight away and pulled us up on it. And from there, she really, really helped, you know. So I started to try and work upwards from that point, and that's kind of where things did start to move in the right direction.
It's weird, isn't it? That just I mean, your friend's phone call stopped you, but then meeting someone who's possibly ex-forces, you're scared to fuck them over. So the way it's turned out is, you know, that's worked to your advantage. It's a brilliant story, mate, because I see that type of thing happens, and it's only a certain little thing that nobody else could work out why, but to you it means everything, and it's totally changed. Totally changed the way you feel, the way you think, everything.
Definitely. I mean, I stopped drinking on the 6th of February, 2000. Well, it's coming up. It'll be 3 years in February, so that'll be 2019. So I didn't actually stop drinking straight away after like the incident at Marsden. But with her, I went on like a reduction program with her. But then as well, she got us on courses to learn about like alcohol, you know, obviously alcohol addiction and this, that, and the other. So she put us on loads of different courses. And one thing that I was completely against, and I just kind of flatly refused, was to go to any like group sessions. So I didn't go to. She tried this. Well, she took us to AA, which I went along, but I never went back. And they had their own internal kind of group sessions and stuff, and I just wouldn't kind of like engage with it to go to like these group meetings and stuff. And then she literally tricked us into it. She'd said, right, you're going to have thought about it, and we've decided that if you don't go to the group meeting on Monday, then we're going to stop like the support that we're giving you, and you'll have to come off like the program. So I since found out that wasn't the case, but it gives the kick up the arse that I needed to go and shit, right, I'll better go then. And to be honest, in hindsight, I wish I'd done it 12 months earlier with them, because that really accelerated. Because what it was some of the kind of like hurdles I'd put up myself was I didn't want to go in case I knew someone. And she was like, right, well, have a wild guess what they'll be there for. It's not like a spectator sport. They're there for they'll be there for a reason. And I'll be honest, a part of us, I was a financial advisor, and I was a bit of a up my own arse, if I'm honest. And I thought, I don't want to go there in case I see somebody and think less of us, you know. So I had to put all these things aside. And when I went there, I literally, honestly, it was almost like a jaw-dropping moment, because the people who I met in there, I don't know what I was expecting. I don't know if I was expecting to have the meeting inside like a graveyard or something like that on a bench with Billy Meths and his friends.
Loads of winos just sitting around.
Yeah, exactly, basically, which, you know, I mean, technically, that was one of the other things I should say, because when I came back, because there was not only alcohol addiction in there, there was also drug addiction as well. So, and what do you call it? I'd said, she says, what did you think about it? I said, I'll be perfectly honest, I absolutely loved it. I thought it was fantastic. And she says, I'm glad. I says, the only thing was, I says, there was like a young lass, and there was a young lass there, don't know, maybe it's about 22, 23 or something. And she said about like using cocaine and stuff. And to me, when she said it, it was kind of like an intake of breath, because I thought, fucking hell. And she went, all right, also, I didn't realise you were an addiction snob. And I went, well, I'm not. She went, well, it sounds like you are. She says, and just a word of warning, there's no hierarchy in the gutter. And the gutter is exactly where you are at the minute. It's like,
right, man.
Well, fair enough. So that kind of like dropped off like some baggage there as well, you know. And from there, just listening to people, because I literally had everybody in there, from solicitors, judges, nurses, and, you know, to bricklayers. There's every single person was in there, and they all was human, which I don't know what I was expecting when I went in there. And they've now, a lot of them have become really good friends of mine.
Hey, you sorted if you need a solicitor, if you need a wall building, you know what I mean? Absolutely brilliant.
The wall that they'll build would be probably up and down a bit. But,
it would be a bit wonky, wouldn't it?
But yeah, it was. Yeah. But it was fantastic, you know, and that really helped us. But with that as well, they put us in touch with NAAFI Break, who are, obviously, yeah, you were aware of. Yeah, so
Joe and Kirsty did a brilliant job. Absolutely.
Yeah, Kirsty, and Joe,
tremendous people.
Yeah,
they're in it for exactly the right reasons, aren't
they? Yeah, exactly.
They do what they do for exactly the right reasons. Lovely people.
Yeah. Well, I went there, and that was the first time I'd kind of re-engaged with like the forces community. So like properly like sitting down, and it just felt really good from day one, and I couldn't wait for the next like drop in. And it started to give us some structure for my week, because I had like kind of nothing in, and it really started to put like the foundations in place for us. I met people there and stuff, and I had a great laugh when I was there. They helped us out with a few things, and there was a representative from SAFA there at the time, Helen, she was called, and I got on talking to her, just having a coffee and stuff, and just started to just have a chat about the situation. And I was losing the flat that I was renting at the time as well, so she said, right, why don't we meet up and have a chat about things? So I did that, and then before I knew it, she was kind of helping out. I was on the housing list. Oops, sorry.
Answer it, come on.
And got us on the housing list, and started to put things in place and stuff. I got some help with some like debts that were outstanding. The place that I'm in now is the 2-bedroom house that I got, like council house, because my daughter got back in touch and were obviously I needed somewhere for her. The help with furniture and everything were absolutely fantastic they were, and they just, I just couldn't praise them highly enough, you know.
It just shows you, doesn't it? It just shows you that if you ask, there is help there. Because people think there's no help. There's loads of help. It's that first hurdle.
I'd never ever thought that there was anything at all for me, because when I got when I split up from like my wife, originally I went down to the council, and I went and said, can I put myself down and this, that, and the other. And the top and bottom of it came back, he'd said to go to the YMCA in Newcastle, and I was like, really? That's it? That's all I've got? Like, you know what I mean? I was like, yeah.
You could have been the sailor.
Well, yeah, like, to be honest. Yeah.
In the YMCA.
Yeah, exactly. But I was So from that until the time that I spoke to Safa, that was what my impression was. I thought, well, there's nothing there for me. I'm a single bloke. I'm not going to get anything. I'm not entitled to anything or anything like that. So Safa really, really helped us out with that, you know. So I just so grateful for what they did. And NAAFI Break, I was going every week and stuff like that, and then asked if I would like to do be the welfare officer and help out. So I says, yeah, definitely. So I started doing that. So I was helping other veterans out and stuff, and I really, really enjoyed that. It was fantastic just to start and help other people, you know, because when I stopped drinking, it really made a massive difference. I literally became, I mean, more or less, I wasn't with anybody at the time, but I've been with somebody for a year. She says, you're like a professional volunteer now. Where it's it's great because I've got time and I've got, what do you call it? I've got a clear head. Even though I still do have some mental health problems, it's, what do you call it? It's allowed me to just open the world up again, because the world really did start and come in to the point where I was literally in the flat by myself, not able to go out some days, or most days, and it was just shocking. You know, the kind of position I'd ended up in at that point. So now, if I can do anything, then it's fantastic, you know.
Well, I've been reading a little bit about your story, and now you're going to university, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm over literally a couple of streets away from where you are.
Exactly, a couple of streets. So you'll be able to pop in, won't you, on your dinner? You not even have to buy your own dinner now. You can come here and get fun out.
Yeah, well, I'll definitely do that. I definitely will. Right. That started because I went. I'd been sober for a while, about 6 months or something, and I would, like I say, I'd volunteered at South Lighthouse because there's a recovery college attached to where I was, this recovery place in South Shields. So they had a few courses, so I did that. I did a bit of volunteering at South Lighthouse and stuff, but I was looking for something, and it's strange because it's quite hard for, well, I'm going to call myself middle-aged, I'm 49, for a middle-aged bloke to do something. I know you're supposed to be working, obviously that's why there's not a lot of stuff around, but it's hard unless you're disabled or you are over retirement age to find something to do through the day that isn't linked to going to the pub, which obviously I needed to stay away from. So I did a watercolour course, I did volunteering at the lighthouse, I just so I literally printed a timetable out, and I used to just photocopy it and stick it on my cupboard door, and I would just put me support meetings in that I was going to, so that was that, and then I would just try and fill the rest of the week in with stuff, just so I had no time to sit down and start and think, actually I could, you know, I could either have a drink or start and go backwards towards bad mental health again.
That's the key. That's the key to everything. That's what we do here. It's having a structured week. It's a key to everything. You know, if you know you've got to be at somewhere, chances are you're not going to have a drink because you've got to be there. You know,
yeah, exactly. That's
really a structure, because if you're ex-forces, that's all you live by, structure, isn't it? You know, everything was told when you could do, when you did it, you know, so if you just put that back in place, that's a great start.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And it's strange because you don't realise how ingrained it is in you, because I joined when I was 16. You don't realise how ingrained that is in your psyche when you stop using it, or it's kind of taken away, because one of the things through this support counselling sessions and stuff, one of the biggest issues for myself was I kind of just lost my identity. I didn't know who I was anymore. I wasn't a dad anymore. I wasn't a husband anymore. I wasn't a business owner anymore. I felt like I had nothing at all, you know, and it's kind of getting that sense of direction. So I looked for a college course, and it was Ellen, who was the support worker, who said, why don't you do something like this? I think you'd be really good at it. And so I says, well, I don't really know what to do. So she kind of directed us to what course I would need. So I thought, well, I'll go along, I'll do it, you know. And so I did like a level 2 course, which was free at South Tyneside College, and I really enjoyed it. It was like, because I was sober, I mean, it was hilarious because I was literally 30 years older than anybody else in the class. And when I walked in, I thought I was the teacher. But that worked out really good because, you know, it was just like, it just made for so many funny like things in there. I mean, one of them was we were doing like a class, and one of the teachers put up like the hammer and sickle flag for the CP, like the old Soviet Union, and started talking. I was like, oh, come on, honestly, really? Who doesn't know like the Russian flag? And he went, well, probably a lot of people in here. I went, what really? I went, well, unless they were like, they weren't around like 1991. He went, well, I was born in 1998. I was like, right, shit, yeah, okay, right. So
it all fell apart in 1998, didn't it? When the Berlin Wall come down. So
it's like, so like the age difference was great, but so I signed up for the level 3, and I did that, which wasn't as good because that's when COVID came, so I had to do it from home. But just signing up and getting a bit of purpose back in my life, and I passed it, and then so I've enrolled, like you say, around the corner from yourself, so at the university. So
I actually work at the university as well in one of my other jobs.
Right, yeah.
So you'll be bringing that apple into me. No, I will actually come round here, but I will actually meet up with you down there as well.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah. Well, I got the university. I got in touch with the press office and spoke to them and asked if they wanted it. If I'm honest, it was because I was taking a month off, and I thought, how am I going to soften the blow for this? And I thought, if I get them involved, they can hardly then say, well, you're not allowed to take the month off. I've since found that university students seem to do what they want when they want anyway, so that month off probably wouldn't have been such a problem anyway. But they did like a write-up and photos and stuff. So
Sunderland Uni's all for veterans, mate. All for veterans.
Really, right? Well,
yeah,
that's
absolutely brilliant. I used to work for Northumbria Uni as well, and Sunderland Uni's by far much. I'd say that because I'm from Sunderland, but by far they can't do enough for veterans, mate. Honestly, if ever problem at any time, just come and see us, and it'll be sorted. You know.
Okay, then that'd be fantastic. Yeah,
absolutely. And they've even got like a veterans group for the staff.
Really? All right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's really it's all inclusive. Veterans and veterans families, it's all inclusive for anyone, man. I'll tell you, it's really good. So yeah, what I want to talk about now is your camper van, because like I said, we've got a lot of things in common. So your story's really similar to mine.
Really?
Mine was drugs instead of alcohol. Mine was starting a counselling course, then doing level 2, starting all that, doing all that to start the VICS, to working for a university. But the most important part is you've got a camper van, and so have I. That's what's important in this whole thing. So excellent. I've got a 1972 VW.
Oh man, yeah.
And I've got a 65 plate Transit Custom, which I've just done. So it's only been finished since June, I think. It took 3 months, and when I say I did it, I paid people to do it. I didn't do it myself. All I did is rip everything out. And I project managed it. I took it to different people to get different things done. It was the most stressful thing I've ever done in my life. I would never, ever do anything like it again. Never, ever. It was horrible. Sleepless nights. The budget, what you think you've got. I watch them programs. Have you seen them programs where they say, me and I will last work on them on weekends and that? Fucking no way. I'd be in prison. I'd be in prison, I tell you. It's so stressful. So stressful.
Certainly not as glamorous as the ones like on YouTube and stuff.
I tried looking at, when people say, it's easy, just look on YouTube, you can do stuff. Oh, fuck that, man. It was honestly a nightmare. It was absolute nightmare. So I've
really enjoyed doing it. I bought it as a transit minibus, so I stripped that out. And it was to do like a bit like a project basically, again just to fill me days, because I'd kind of finished like all the courses and stuff. I'd been signed off from like the rehab place. I'd been signed off from them. So if I'm honest, I was at a point where I was kind of starting to shit myself a little bit and thinking, I've got to do something on my own here, because I didn't have that like kind of apron strings to hang on to anymore. So I thought, right, I've got to do something that's, I've always wanted to do a camp. I've had campers in the past. I've had like a V-dub camper. I've had a comma camper and stuff. But I've never done one up myself. And like watching these YouTube videos, all of a sudden you think in your own head you can be like that, and you think, oh yeah, I can do that. So I thought, yeah, I'll have a go at it. The first day I was stripping out the minibus, I thought, right, this has just been a waste of a couple of grand, because I'm never going to be able to do this.
I felt that as well, and I was just ripping stuff out.
Yeah, well, I don't think mine will ever be finished, I'll be honest. So because I've just been doing mine, I've done it all myself apart from the electrics. So because I just didn't want to burst into flames on the A1, so I got somebody to do that. And I just had a diesel heater fitted about 2 weeks ago for this trip that I'm doing, and I didn't get that fitted.
Fucking, I got one fitted, right? I'll tell you a little story.
Yeah.
So I ordered it, right?
Yeah.
So the people come from Scotland. So there was all like, there was
Dumfries.
like, from where?
Did he come from Dumfries?
I think he did, aye. Right, miserable bastard. Right, miserable bastard he was. So he.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Yeah. Worst customer service I've ever experienced in my life. Right.
Aye. Well.
So he drove down, and like I said, I project managed it. So I had it in the spray shop. So I said to the lads, bloke's coming, 2:00. Let him do this stuff, you know, then put it away. Neighbour, fucking didn't turn up till 3:00. Lads went home, locked it away, and I got fined 390 quid for his journey down.
That's right, yeah, it's the same place. It's something ACSL or something.
Yes. Yeah. If anybody's watching one days later, don't go to him, because he's a miserable bastard.
Yeah, he was a right miserable twat.
But I tell you, I used it. I was at a festival this weekend, and I used it for the first time. And within 10 minutes, I had to get it just in my shorts in the back of the van. It's unbelievable, like unbelievably good. But like, I mean, I worked it. Obviously, I paid massively over the odds because I had to pay the fine. And I mean, I knew that was in the thing, but like the week before, he was supposed to come. And he went, oh, the lad at work's got COVID, so I can't come. So the week before, he couldn't come, and I didn't charge him 390 quid. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Well, do you know what? That place, because I went over to them, because when I rang them...
Well, you drove to them?
I did. Reason being is because I wanted to do one for this, like, for the trip, for the charity drive. And they weren't going to be able to fit it. The drive starts on the 15th. They weren't going to be able to fit it till the week before because they were so busy. And I wanted to try it out a few times because I'm pretty thick when it comes to electronics. I thought I need at least a month to work it out as to how you do it and stuff, you know. And so I says, oh, I'll come across to you. Oh, well, that's fine. And that knocked about 80 quid off or something like that as well. But when I went across, it's actually on an old RAF station. But what it is they've kept all of the, like the outbuildings and everything are all still there from when it was the RAF station. And like, I think it closed in like 1960. And all of the local businesses are in these workshops and stuff like that. So it's literally, you drive into this industrial estate and you come out and you're on the airfield. It was literally like me going back to my old airbase. So I was driving around. It was like just a weird feeling because all of the buildings were exactly the same. And I was like, God, this is freaking me out a little bit. This is a bit weird.
I bet he's got one of them fucking hangers for all the customers' teas.
Well, I'll tell you what, I pulled up, I eventually found him. I pulled up again and he was like alongside this van. I pulled up, I went, oh, hello, mate, you're right. And it was about 11 o'clock. He went, uh-huh. I went, oh, I'm here for, what do you call it? I'm like the 2 o'clock one. He went, well, you early? I went, Oh no, Matt. I just drove around just to see if I could find the place. I'll go and get some dinner and then come back. And that he went, right. I was like, fucking hell.
Honestly, I've never met a person in my life, right? And I'm 51. I've never met a person who was so much of a dick. Right?
It was ridiculous.
When he come the second time, right? He goes, and I was like, what? And he went, you've got body kit on, right? I was like, so what? We're never going to get this up. Open the back. You've got. What the fuck?
Well, I tell you what, right? He did the same because I've like built in like when you walk in, there's 2 boxes which are seats basically. So like, do you know, like a caravan kitchenette kind of setup. So you've got a table in the middle in that. My thoughts were he could put it in the seat of in. Then he went, it's a bit tight to get it in there, isn't it? I went, is it? I thought there would be plenty of space in there. Oh, nah, right. Off he went. Come back. Went to another van. Then come back. He went, I'm going to put it there. I went, what, in between the seats? He went, well, it's going to be easier to put it there. I thought, hang on a minute, mate. I'm paying you fucking 600 quid. I don't shit, what's the easiest place? I want it in the nicest place. So I was like, right, well, will you box that in? He went, well, I'm not boxing it in. That's not like my job. Mine's to fit it. I went, right, do you know what, mate? Just fit it. Because by this point, I was starting to lose my shit. And I thought, just get it in, right? I'll do the rest when I get home. Yeah. And then he had to give us a card. And he went, would you mind leaving a review on the website?
That's what he said to me. That's what he said to me. And then he smashed my computer.
Yeah, you didn't want my recommendation.
Do you know underneath your rock and roll bed, right? So like there's a bit of space where you store loads of stuff. Yeah. So he's going, I knew where to put it and all that. Now I've got a cupboard that could have went in, right? I'm not doing that. So he put it sideways.
Yeah.
Underneath the fucking bed, so you couldn't get anything in it. I went, it's had the fucking piss. Why would you do that? Like,
I'm sure he put
it down the fucking side of the bed. You know what I mean? And he was like,
He just puts it the easiest place possible for him. If he could walk in and put it literally in the middle of your van on the floor where you've got to step over it every time you walk in, he would put it there because that's easier.
You know what else he did, which I never checked before he left, because he put it on like, look, it works, and I was like, just wanted rid of him. So it's like, just gone. You've had a grand out, it was just gone, right? Yeah. I opened the cupboard where like I put me stuff, and he put the wire right across the cupboard, so you couldn't put anything in the cupboard. So I had to go to an electrician and get him to fucking make a
rewire it. Well, it's funny because do you know the box that you turn it on and off with? Well, he put that on like next to like one of the seats and stuff. What he didn't work out for the thick shit was that you've got to put the cushion on, right, to sit on. When you put the cushion on, the bloody remote control's behind the cushion. I'm like, why didn't you work? How did you not work that out? But like you, I was sick of them by then. So I literally just went, right, give us the gear. So I got the brochure off of them and stuff. I went, right, cheers. And then just drove back to South Shields. By the time I got back and looked at it, I thought, well, that's useless, isn't it? Yeah. I have to rewire that and put that in somewhere else.
I felt exactly the same. I just wanted them gone, like them gone. I wish you could remember what it was called so we could slag them off.
It is ACSL Marine or something.
Right. Don't go to him. If anyone's doing a camper van up, don't go to him. Shite. If you want to be pissed off, go to him. Definite. So
exactly.
Tell us a little bit about your journey and what you're doing.
Yeah. I'm driving. I'm leaving from South Shields and I'm driving, following the coastline of Great Britain right the way around. Following it right the way around Great Britain and back, so it's about 5,500 mile drive. Reason I came up with it was because part of like my mental health problems and everything else, I started to kind of the circle, like way I experienced, like the circle of where I used to, where I went, started to like kind of move in. And it ended up that I just couldn't drive anywhere. I couldn't get to any support meetings. I couldn't even drive to like, I live in South Shields. I couldn't even drive like a mile to like Tyneside to go to like my support meetings because it got that bad. And so I'd what I wanted to do is I had this thing in mind that I wanted to like kind of give back the SAFA and NAAFI Break. I knew for a good few years I wouldn't be able to give anything back financially because I'm not working. So like I say, I volunteer for NAAFI Break, and I've started to do the course to be like a caseworker for SAFA, but I wanted to try and give them something financially. SAFA obviously helped me out. They helped me out fantastically, you know, so they spent a lot of money with furniture and carpets and things like that, which I just forever grateful for, because that put me and my daughter kind of back together after a long period of not seeing her. And I know it was a lot of money. So, but also on the other hand, NAAFI Break, pretty much like yourselves probably, literally live on donations from hand to mouth basically, which I know SAFA do, but they're a national company. They've got obviously more spending power and stuff. So whereas NAAFI Break don't have that. So it was, what I wanted to do was just to raise some money for them. And I thought, well, what can I do? So driving's still a problem for us. I bought a road atlas because I was determined I wanted to overcome like this problem driving. So I bought a road atlas, and on one of the pages, it's got South Shields kind of in the middle of it. And I thought, right, what I want to do is I want to get off the page up and down. And I think going south, it's like Middlesbrough basically is at the bottom of the page, and up top it's something like up above Blythe. And so I thought, right, that's what I want to do. I want to try and get either side and then off the page. So that was what I did. I started to do it.
Two lovely places there, mine, weren't they? Middlesbrough and Blythe.
Yeah.
Just keep going to the next page.
could have picked a couple of better places, but yeah, it was just because when I went to South Tyneside College, I told you obviously I signed up to South Tyneside College. I also signed up. I wanted to sign up. My plan was to go to Sunderland College, and the reason being was to try and get us out to South Shields. So I went to go to the open day, and I drove from South Shields, and I could only get as far as, do you know, the church at St. Peter's? Is it called St. Peter's Church?
Yes, St. Peter's Church.
Yeah. By the time I got there, I was in such panic mode. I had to turn off there and pull into the side street next to it, which ironically is now the campus that I'm on, which is bizarre. But I was there for like about an hour, in and out of the car, trying to think, right, should I try and, one of the things I had was like, I couldn't go across bridges. So I was thinking, I can't get across the Wearmouth Bridge. If I get across it, I'm going to be stuck over there. Because it's completely like illogical in my head. I feel I felt like if I went across a bridge, I would pull the car over and pull over, like drive off the bridge. It's like it's just completely disabling to do. So I was like kind of stuck there. So my goal was to get off this page, so and it's starting to kind of open me like world up again, you know. So so this kind of challenge that I set myself to go around the UK or Great Britain, I would love to put it down to a drunken night's thought, but I obviously don't drink anymore, so I still have shit thoughts. That's one thing I found out. I still have just as shit thoughts as I did when I was drunk.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I thought I could do that, and sat in my house, nice warm house in South Shields. I thought, yeah, that's easily doable. I could do that, no worries. I'll raise a bit of money in that. It's since obviously I've worked out it's not going to be as easy as I thought. I've still only up to now driven by myself like 100 miles. When Wallace is in or somebody else is in like the van with us, I'm all right, you know. I'm not all right. It's just I think I've got distraction and stuff, so I can kind of deal with it a little bit more. So I have done longer drives and stuff like that with Wallace and stuff, and been away in the van and stuff, and it's been brilliant. Absolutely loved it. It's been fantastic. But there's still this thing about me by myself. So Wallace has volunteered to come with us. She says, you know, I mean, there was two parts. I didn't want people thinking I was just taking off on a, like a holiday that they were going to sponsor. So on that basis, I made it clear that I'm fully funding it myself. So every single penny that anybody donates goes to the 2 charities. So all of the diesel, any accommodation, food, everything like that is all funded by myself. So there's not a penny of what they do is going to go pay for anything like that. So, but also as well, it's important I do it by myself. I think for me, there is, I've spoken to like the doctor, I've spoken to like a few different people and stuff. There is times where they said, you know, if you have to, then have somebody with you just for safety. But that would literally just be to get us over a little bump or something like that, you know. So, but hopefully I wouldn't need to do that.
Well, if you email me straight after this, the link, we'll put the link running along the bottom.
Oh, fantastic.
With you being from South Shields, who do you support, Sunderland or Newcastle?
Right. Well, since you're so close to that place, I will decline the...
So if it's Newcastle, we'll just put the fucking subtitles in Arabic for you.
Well, put it this way. I'm going out for a tea towel tonight and a snake belt. So is what I'm going.
That's all right. I hope we're not just jumping on the bandwagon now the Saudis are in town, mind. I hope you supported them years ago as well.
Yeah, believe me, I've been a long sufferer. So it's been a sufferer since birth, unfortunately. But,
well, that's a decent thing, though. You know, if you're prepared to put up with shit for the whole of your life for it, that's it. You know, I don't support Sunderland out of choice. You know, I mean, I fucking live here, so I haven't got a choice. You know,
I think the only thing worse than supporting Newcastle is supporting England. It's just as shit a journey, basically. So
I used to follow them both all over the country and all over the world. And
oh, did you? Right.
My life's got a lot better since I've stopped. Honestly, thank you very, very much for coming on. It's been a right laugh. What I'd like to do, so I have like a proper podcast studio upstairs.
Right.
So when you've done your thing, come in, and then we'll do it having a crack between us. In the studio. We'll bring somebody else in as well, and we can get people to phone up and stuff.
Oh, fantastic.
So I only started doing these kind of podcasts because of COVID. So we normally would do them in the studio. So if you're up for that, that's class.
Oh, I'd love to, yeah. Yeah, it'd be fantastic, yeah.
Good luck on your journey, all right?
Thank you very much, yeah. I'll keep you up to date and stuff as I'm going around and that. So
I'll give you, when we're offline, I'll give you my number, my personal number, and if you ever done in, I'll just give us a bell. I'll just torture you since you're mad. All right, Paul, see you later on.
All right, thanks very much, mate.
All right.